I started my MBA in fall of 2011. I was working full-time for a biotech company in San Diego, and then in the middle of the program decided to follow one of my bosses up to another company in Irvine. I just loved working for him. He was a great mentor to me, and it was a great opportunity. So I was like, I just have a year left. I can do this. We worked out commuting, and literally it was every day. I would go up, come back down, and then twice a week, classes from 5:30 to 10, and then any weekend classes that I could do to get the program done. And so I can see the last stretch of it. It's like I just have a few more classes, and it's the week of finals. I have 2 tests and 1 project. The project was for strategic execution, and I chose to actually do it on my own. It was a group project, but I would have been a horrible team member. So I just said, I'll just do it on my own. I don't know how I did it. But basically, it was that Thursday. So basically, it was the last class of that program, and I go to do my final presentation. And that day, something wonderful happened where I had to send this email, there it is, to Professor Lawless. And I said, hi, basically to be totally transparent, my company shut down. And like 24 hours notice. And I might be just like a little bit late for the class tonight. If I could just like not go first, that would be awesome. So anyway, literally that day, and I don't know the timing of things, but it was, how does that happen? I don't know. But another amazing thing happened was then I got to go to Rio. It was just great timing too. So I go to Rio for 10 days in January, and that's literally my final class. And it was all about people that had started their own organizations and started these amazing companies and solving problems, world problems that were huge. And I come back and I'm on this high of just like, oh my gosh, this is like, there's so much more to do. But then, that high kind of wears off. And I kind of like, well, now I'm back in the job search and I'm looking at companies and marketing and biotech. And I'm like, none of this sounds good. Like just none of it sounds good. I'm just getting depressed, like looking at this. And somebody I was very close with at the time just said, why don't you kind of go out on your own and just see what happens? And I'm like, no, never. The uncertainty and, I briefly talked to my dad about it, and he was like, I mean, really, you really want to do that? Take that risk? And I'm like, I know, right? No. And my dad and I have a great relationship, so it's no bad thing on him, but it was just so far from me that I could do something like that. And just the more that I think time went on, I kind of embraced it. And that same person kind of said, well, all that certainty that you want, what happened with your last job? Kind of just fell through, right? So I kind of reached out to a couple people that I knew, and I just said, hey, can we kind of do a project? Project turned into retainer. Retainer turned into a couple more. I ended up partnering with somebody that I worked with as an internship in college, like undergrad, and that was out in Denver. So a couple more clients. And little by little, it was like this was already starting to happen, and it was just kind of happening for me. And so I guess, now I actually have an office 2 blocks from me. I don't drive ever. I fear the roads now because I don't drive. And I'm starting to work with my sister. She's going out on her own. And it's just little by little. It's been 2 years now. And I'm sitting and listening to these incredible stories of people. And I'm like, how am I even on this stage talking with them? It is beyond me. I would just say I have just a few personal takeaways as I'm still battling some of the same things that held me back before. And I think the main thing is embracing uncertainty. I can't tell you what a lesson that is and is for me every single day. Nothing is certain for me. And it's amazing when you eliminate that from your mind, you're free to think about what you could do, because we don't have necessarily tomorrow. Nobody has that. And I also think challenge what you should do. That word should is like a bad word. And it's about going with what feels right and or staying away what feels wrong, and being close to that. I think that's what saved me from going back and doing something that I really wouldn't have been happy with. And then finally, and I'm still battling all three of these, but getting out of your own way. I think that we put ourselves into a position where we're so limited, and it's pretty much ourselves that are doing that. And I know that we've spoken a lot about tonight just other people in our environment, but I also think it's up to us to reflect, take that time, and what is limiting you from doing what you want. And I would say when you get these things out of the way, it's amazing what can happen and how things can change. And again, I'm not a risk taker. I'm really not. And sometimes life just kind of gives you a little bit of a shove. And I had that, and that was what helped me. So thank you for listening.